What's up, guys? I know, I'm standing. It's kind of weird. I don't have a standing desk. I literally just put my tripod up and rose my microphone quite a bit so that I could make this video standing, because if you read the title, we are reviewing a movie today, and this movie is wild. And honestly, to talk about it, it's like I need to stand up. I need to be able to just convey everything to you guys, because this movie is wild. And that movie is The Velocipastor. If you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which if you don't already, you definitely should, especially TikTok, because we're all using TikTok. You can't even deny it. Follow me on TikTok. It's UtahBO. It's fucking great. Come join me on TikTok. I post like 3 times a day, at least. Sometimes like 4. It's pretty great. So join that. And plus, usually we'll know what's happening. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyways, let's get started. Let's review this just buck wild movie. Okay? So we start off with our main character, Doug Jones. He's a pastor. He's preaching a sermon. Typical pastor stuff. And, he goes outside of the church. And who's there? His parents are across the street. They're hanging out by their car. Fantastic. You know what happens? Their car blows up and kills him. Yep. And you want to know the amazing graphical effects for this show? That for blowing up a car, that was the graphic effects. So right off the bat, you can tell this movie is super well aware of itself, which is great. And if you guys need to know, the budget for this movie, The Velocipastor, is only $35,000. So you can tell it's gonna be amazing. And so anyways, his car blows up, kills his parents. So, Doug's sad, naturally. So he cries in church, and this other father comes and comforts him. Father Stewart is his name. He comforts him, if that's even the right word, because this is the line that he gives him. So your parents died. It's what they do. They die on you. Which is amazing. That's such a great line. Pure writing genius. I don't know. Whoever came up with that deserve a raise. You deserve an award for pure amazing writing like this. He says, your parents died, whatever, man. And Doug's questioning his faith. He's like, why would God do this? Father Stewart is like, you should go travel and you should search, see if you find answers from God. So Doug's like, fantastic. We're gonna go find some meaning about life. Hopefully God exists and I'll hear from him. He's gonna tell me why shit's happening. He goes off on his journey, typical protagonist stuff. And then our title montage begins with really the only bad thing about this movie. The atrocious, and I mean atrocious, yellow text with a really bad font. I don't like it. That's the only thing I really don't like about this movie. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I really hated looking at it. I was like, who chose this font? You could have picked something so much better. Why did you do that? Whatever. So, where does Doug travel to find answers? China, of course, the most Christian place in the world. So, he's in the forest in China. Nearby, in the forest, where Doug currently is. Yeah, I said that right. There's a woman running from some ninjas. Yeah, that's right, ninjas. And she gets shot by an arrow. Well, Doug is doing... Who the fuck knows? He looks like he's just, being like, God, come to me. So she falls, she's been shot. And she falls right next to him. And, she gives him this, fucking dinosaur tooth looking thing. And is like, you should destroy this or they're gonna hunt you forever. And then the last words, after Doug is naturally confused and like, what the fuck? And she whispers her dying words. She's like, Dragon Warrior, which I didn't know this was Kung Fu Panda I was watching. The woman dies, and then Doug gets up and he's holding this this dinosaur tooth, and he sees Ninja and he's about to shoot him. But then, for some reason, even though he barely did anything, the dinosaur tooth cuts Doug's arm. Doug's arm, his hand, and then he faints, and then he rolls down the hill, and then wakes up in his bed. And it turns out it was just a dream, and it was a flashback. This was just a dream. It was a flashback that he's been dreaming for a while. Father Stewart was like, "Bitch, what the fuck are you doing? You look like you got a disease from China, you crazy." But anyways, Doug is like, he keeps like saying he's hungry. The father's like, "Cool, then eat food, you stupid. You know, feed a fever, you gotta starve a cold." But Doug has a fever, so he gets to feed it. You know, num num num. Anyways, Doug needs some air, so he's like, "Fuck this, I'm leaving right now. I'm gonna go chill." And for some reason, when he goes out, he's just stumbling everywhere. For no real reason why. He's holding his hand, he's just stumbling around. Who cares? And he bumps into this girl who's gonna be another main character. Her name's Carol. Turns out she's a hooker she's a hooker? Yeah, she's a hooker. Working for this guy named Frankie Mermaid, which, by the way, is a fantastic name. He's quite honestly probably the best character. And for some reason, he just slaps Carol. He's like, "Don't you dare question me." And he's like, "You want to know why I'm named Frankie Mermaid?" And she's like, "Because you're swimming in all the bitches." And he's like, "That's fucking right, because I'm swimming in all the bitches," which is so great. But anyways, after that is probably the best line I have ever, and I mean ever, heard in cinema history.
"Yo, Jerry! If you stuff dicks in your mouth like you're doing that sandwich, I'd be a fucking millionaire by now!"
The writing in this movie is on a whole nother level. Cut back to Doug, who is, running around the forest, seemingly in a rage-induced acid trip. Meanwhile, Carol is also walking around the forest, which is really like the park that's in like their area, wherever it is. And Mugger comes up to her and he's like, "Give me your money." But she's like, "No, I don't have any. It all belongs to my pimp, Frankie Mermaid." And he's like, "Well, we're gonna go." But then Doug shows up in his dinosaur form and eats the Mugger. And the costume for, the practical effects for this dinosaur, fantastic. Puts Jurassic Park to shame. After Doug saves Carol, they go back to her place, and he wakes up after a night of probably some interesting dinosaur sex, which I don't know how that would have worked. But he's like, "Nah, we can't do this again because I'm a pastor." And she's like, "Bitch, what? You turned into a fucking dinosaur and then saved me by eating someone." And Doug is like, "What the fuck?" He doesn't believe that happened because he's like, dinosaurs never existed. And I'm sure as hell can't be one. And she's like, "Nah, they did exist, and you are one, you stupid fuck." Doug's like, "Whatever." And so, to prove it, Carol takes him and sees the body that he ate. He's like, "What?" And of course, because, Doug was a dinosaur, he didn't have any clothes on. And so he had to borrow clothes from Carol, which, might I say, damn, he looks fabulous in that Velma looking ass dress. I love this movie so much. After seeing the remains of the guy, Doug is, of course, mortified. He's like, "I killed a man. I'm a pastor. And I'm a dinosaur. What the fuck?" Carol's like, "I had to hide the body because I'm a hooker. And if I called the police, they'd arrest me." He's like, "You're a hooker? You fucking slut?" I love how I'm portraying this. It's totally great. But anyway, she's like, "What the fuck? You're a hooker?" And she's like, "But I'm also pretty bent law." I mean, nobody talks about that. But it's like, that doesn't fucking matter. But anyways, Carol is like, "Yo, you should fight crime and eat people. You could do some real good. You could take care of real bad guys." And he's like, "Nah, I gotta go do confessions." And then he just leaves. Dude, you just ate a man and you're just gonna go do normal confessions? What? While he's in confession, you wanna know who comes into the confession booth? Frankie Mermaid, who confesses that he's a big piece of shit and does fucking everything wrong. He's smoking in the confession booth and he's like, "I smoke wherever I want to." And Frankie says that he blew up this old couple a couple months ago right in front of the church. Who was that? It was Doug's parents. And it has a shot of Frankie Mermaid being like, "Yes, die." It's truly wonderful, truly wonderful. I love this movie so much, and the acting, impeccable. Because Frankie Mermaid killed Doug. He killed Doug's parents, sorry. Doug kills him. He's like, y'all just killed my parents. He's like, dead. Which was sad because, you know, I love Frankie Mermaid. Frankie Mermaid. It's probably my favorite character. Doug goes back to Carol and he's like, fuck, killed another guy. Let's be legit about this then. Let's fight crime and fight real bad people then. And then they high five and a montage begins. And also I should say that there are several montages throughout this film and the music they pick, fantastic. It's just weird, like almost 2000s or 90s rock the entire time. It's so funny because it's so stupid. Anyways, throughout the montage you can see Doug falling for Carol. I know, scandalous. Falling for a hooker as a pastor. What the fuck is wrong with you, Doug? Disgusting. The montage now over. You know, they've been fighting crime for a while, whatever. Now we go to the antagonists, the ninjas. That is right. Who is led by this wise master named, I'm probably gonna butcher the name, Wei Chan, I think is his name. I think that's how they pronounce it. Yeah, and then this white motherfucker for some reason, this white ass ninja. Like if I like dressed up as a ninja for Halloween, that's what this motherfucker looks like. Anyways, master is like, yo, Christians are important to our drug trade plan, and we need to get rid of the Dragon Warrior. But you know, that'll be easy. And then they just laugh stupidly for like a solid minute. It's kind of disturbing. But anyways, back to Doug. Father Stewart catches Doug talking to the hooker. He's talking to Carol. Disgusting. And then he finds Doug reading books about crime and dinosaurs. Totally against the church. You can't do that. And basically he's like, stop fucking around. Literally. Stop fucking that hooker. It's bad for you. You're gonna get diseases. Doug tells him, he's like, I'm different. And Stewart's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Everybody's different, whatever. Doug's like, no, seriously, I'm different. In fact, I'm a dinosaur. And Stewart is like, what? We're gonna have to get this demon exorcised from you. You don't have a dinosaur, you have a demon trapped inside you. We need to get this gone. So they go to this exorcist, Altair, that Stewart knows from like his wartime days. They literally say it like that. They don't say it like from the war or when he was in the army. They say his wartime days, which is so funny. Oh, and we see that Stewart was once in love, but she blew up right in front of him. Literally, look at this. She just explodes and just all over him. Disgusting. Anyways, exorcism time. They begin the exorcism and Doug begins to transform into a dinosaur, and Stewart is obviously mortified, and then Doug attacks him, kills him. Stewart's dead. Gone. Okay, so now Doug runs into the forest again for some fucking reason, and some ninjas find him, and these ninjas are probably my new favorite characters in this movie because they literally start drawing up like this game plan for how they're gonna kill Doug, and they're like, you are gonna go around back, and then you, and meanwhile one of the ninjas is like totally just blanking and just like thinking about something else, and they're like, you got this, right? Yeah, he's got it. And then they go and instantly just fucking die from Doug, because he's a fucking dinosaur. Doug goes back to Carol's place and is like, yo, I killed Stewart and a bunch of ninjas. I don't want to hurt you. Carol's then like, you could never hurt me. And then there's a moment of silence, and then begins a night of sex time. You know, classic movie trope. You know, they just start fucking. Anyways, they wake up and ninjas are breaking into the apartment. How'd they find him? Who fucking knows? And they both kick the absolute shit out of all of them. Even Carol. It's not like Carol was just standing by and watching Doug being like, yeah, Doug, you kicked the shit out of him. No, she got up and she was like, bah, bah, bah. And then one of the ninjas is like, you don't know who you're dealing with, as he's fucking dying. And of course, you know, Doug picks him up and he's like, who's behind this? Tell me. And then the ninja's just like, remember your fame. Anyways, cut to Stewart's alive. Never mind, he didn't die. So Wei Chen reveals his plan to give drugs to everybody and then cut them off. And then they'll all have to join Christian support groups, and then we're gonna just have this running cycle. That's his legitimate plan. Watch this movie. That's what he says. Word for word. He's gonna give drugs, and then he's gonna cut them off, and then they're all gonna have to join Christian drug addict support groups. Flawless plan. But then Stuart is like, nah, you shouldn't do that. No. But then Stuart gets stabbed by an arrow. Man, Stuart is just living and dying. But he dies for real this time. Now we are back to Doug and Carol, who are getting ready to go fight some fucking ninjas, man. Let's go, baby. It's face-off time. For some reason, the ninjas seem to be standing in this weird idle pose. They're like they're in a fucking video game. Like they're in Street Fighter. They're like so fucking ready to fight this guy. So funny. But apparently, the white boy ninja that we saw earlier, it's Doug's brother, who resents Doug for really no reason. I mean, his parents were like, "You're my only son, Doug," when he was always in the background, but like, they never like acknowledged him before. So, you know, whatever. Anyways, now they fight. Probably some of the most epic fight choreography I've ever seen. Like, just look at this. Great. Then Doug, for some reason, wields the Force and steals his brother's sword and then stabs him. You heard that right. Doug, the dinosaur, wields the Force, takes the white boy ninja's sword, and stab. Yeah. Then one of the ninjas kills Carol. Like, takes a sword and is like, "Hasha!" Kills her. She's dead. And Doug's like, "No!" While Doug is just being like, "No, Carol, you died." All the ninjas are like, "Oh no. Fuck, we weren't supposed to kill her. Fuck!" And they're just like, "Oh shit, I feel so bad." And then Doug goes full dinosaur and just kicks the shit out of all of them. Kills all of them. Yeah, so after he kills them all, he's shot with an arrow by Wei Chen, who has like these weird poison dipped arrows that stop him from transforming into a dinosaur. Why? Who knows? But then Doug's like, "But my hand is immune," and then he kills him, rips his head off. Okay. He runs back over to Carol after everyone's dead, and he's like, "No, Carol." But she, she still has a bit of like dying breath left. And so he takes her to the hospital. Boom. Carol's not dead, actually. She actually lives. And they live happily ever after. So yeah, that was the Velocipastor. What did I think of this movie? Probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Got incredible practical effects, amazing writing, wonderful soundtrack. There's just so much to love about this movie, and you guys should all check it out for yourselves if you haven't watched it already. It's on Amazon Prime. You should go watch it. Okay, but like, honestly, the movie was amazing. I was hysterically laughing at so much of it because of how fucking ridiculous it is. But it's great. You guys should watch it, especially for a movie whose budget was only $35,000. They utilized every penny. Seriously, I have never seen a greater use of time and money than this fucking movie. That was the Velocipastor. So, I hope you guys enjoyed me ranting about this ridiculous ass movie. And before I leave, I should let you guys know that on Halloween night, so that means Sunday when this is coming out. Is this coming out on Sunday? I don't fucking know. But Halloween night this year at 9 Mountain Standard Time, I am going to be streaming on Twitch and YouTube on here. We're going to be playing Spooky's House of Jump Scares. Hi, future Bryson here. We're actually instead going to be playing Poppy Playtime, which is a new horror game that came out recently. So we're going to be playing that instead. Feel free to come in, join in the chat, come get jump scared. I know I'm going to be, because even though it's like a cutesy game, it's supposed to like, bah! I hope you guys come. It'll be a fun time. Yeah. And if you guys like this video and want me to do more movie reviews, please let me know. Because, I kind of am all over the place. But I feel like this is kind of fun to just talk about movies, especially because I'm really a movie guy. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.